ladies and gentlemen, we have a returning star, future UFC. Well, he'll be in the UFC. Let's just keep it like that. He'll achieve whatever he wants to achieve. You've met him before. He was the first guest. He's the guy who gave me the kind of the spark that says I could do it. You know, just a little confidence here and there.
Oh, little sweet Sam.
And he brought his awesome friend, Kevin Crash Croom. Kevin, bro, thanks for being here. Sam, thanks for coming.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We're taking Crash out. It's just Kevin Croom.
Just Kevin Croom.
Yeah.
Got it?
No
Because it
worries.
was the hard-hitting hillbilly, then it was Crash.
Yeah, man.
You're like Kevin
it's
Croom.
just too much.
Now it's just the bare-knuckle fan favorite, huh?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Also, like, I watched that over, and not to, like, dog the other guy, but you also were like, hey, I get to fight some guys that, you know, maybe they're not, like, world class.
Yeah.
And then, no offense to the guy, you could tell. Because he just kind of kept it tight and just kind of was bam-bamming. And I'm like, this dude has, you know, 1-1-2. Oh, he's maybe a feint here and there. It's like there's a skill discrepancy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, you know, it's like that in any new sport. You know, like, I mean, it's a newer sport. People haven't got it figured out yet. MMA is like on the third generation. Like, he's a third generation fighter. I'm a second generation fighter. Man. You know, so like, people have just analyzed it for so long, like 20, 30 years now, almost. You know, bare knuckles knew. They don't know what to do yet. Like, nobody knows what to do in the clinch.
Yeah, they really don't know how to dirty box or do any of that kind of stuff.
And I do, so let's go.
Yeah, while I was there watching it live, you could just tell that, like, as soon as you got close up with them, they just wanted to, like, back away.
No,
and go back
please.
to boxing.
Or
like,
drop.
Yeah, they're looking at the ref. Get the hell out of here. Like,
yeah, he's like, no, he hit me in my face. You're like, he's supposed to, man.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to get your credentials down too. Okay, so like I said, I did my diligence on you, Kevin. I did my diligence. So you're 22-15, right? That's
officially.
Officially, we'll get to that. I want to talk about that because I was looking that up. That's 38 fights, man. You've been in this game for a long, long time. Yeah. And you can tell by your latest victory at bare knuckle, you're a fucking vet, man. And I remember, like, hearing about you and seeing you, and I remember the clip after your first, like, the UFC debut, just like the moment, like, after you got it, it was like, this is it. This is what we all look at and think for. And it wasn't necessarily that it was the UFC, but it's that you achieved something that most people will never touch, ever. And so you have an FAC featherweight championship belt, a Shamrock Fighting Championship bantamweight belt, right? You have the performance of the night for Roosevelt, whatever his last name was. Roberts. We don't care about that guy.
Yeah.
And then you are a 3-time LFA vet, 3-time Bellator vet, 4-time UFC vet, and then, of course, now you're making your BKFC debut.
Fought in 7 countries.
You've been everywhere.
Around the world. Let's go.
Well, and you know what? Since we're on the topic, let's get to it. It's not my first question because I was like, maybe he'll warm up to it, but we're here now.
All right.
That's bullshit. Just gonna throw that out there that you got that fight taken back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my favorite quote.
Yeah, I already know.
Oh, bro. I laughed so hard when I watched this. You said, and I quote, "How can I bang a hooker here but can't smoke weed and fist fight? What the fuck? This is garbage, people." I'm like, what is going on?
And like 3 months after that, they changed the rules.
Oh my god! It kind of felt like, I mean, Nick Diaz was a huge case of like, what
For
the?
sure.
And then most of his fighting career was gone after that. And I'm like, for fucking like
5
people
years.
fight and then they smoke right after. And then you said I fought on 36-hour notice.
I told them.
They're like, what more do they want from me? I'm like, sounds like they just wanted to. I don't know.
Trying to get that bread, you know what I mean?
That's
and
it.
like that's what I think it is. It's just like, you know, and I mean now it's changed, but it's just a little money grab, you know, and like who doesn't like a little money grab? Not me, but you know what I mean? They do.
Right. I mean, it just kind of felt like it didn't feel fair because I was like, that was this 30 seconds you were in there. And 31. This dude, you know the odds? Did you see the odds?
He has like 5 to 1 or something like
Holy
that.
shit, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I'm a millionaire. I was like, I'm going to put money on this, you know? But no, I wanted to applaud you for that because it showed the the skill, the athleticism, and then you're also a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Because I saw you in your fancy gi at Overland Park.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
oh shit.
Yep.
And then
I just got that in January.
how'd that feel?
I mean, I cried. Yeah, I mean, not that that's like strange for me. I'm kind of a crier sometimes. I'm an emotional dude, but yeah, man. I mean, it was awesome. Like, really great.
Well, it's the same feeling. No one's gonna achieve that, and if they do, it's because they worked just as hard as you did, or.
Yep.
And it's like I said, there's a good conversation that we'll get to about jiu-jitsu and the black belt. But Sam, I wanted to. How was this? Yeah, how's it? The new podcast mics,
nice.
new shit. Well,
real nice.
Because like I said, I was rewatching your episode with me,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh, I did so many things wrong. Like I'm so new, I'm
Just
so
nitpicking
fresh.
every little thing.
Everything.
That you could've changed.
But that's what you have to do. That's life. That's fighting. That's everything.
You gotta fall down to get back up.
Mm-hmm.
Trial and error.
And so you have a fight scheduled, ready to go.
Yep. February 4th.
I need tickets.
Yes, sir. I got
Immediately.
Most definitely.
Like right now, you have them on you right now. Just kidding. And I saw that Kevin's in your corner. He was in the last image on Instagram. You guys had a fight, and I was like, "What?" Because Kevin, you're a technician when it comes to striking. You're flawless. You have good feints. You have good. There's no. I can't tell what's going on. Like you're in control, but the other guy's kind of trying to figure it out, and that's just master of the craft. You've been doing it for a long, long time. Has that not passed on to you? But have you picked things up from Kevin?
Of course, yeah, most definitely. He definitely taught me how to like throw a jab correctly. So like basic day one.
So that's
shit.
what you were hitting me with in the face.
Yeah.
The perfect jab. Kevin taught me.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Currently, I'm trying to learn the Croom.
The Croom?
as we call it. Yeah.
What is it? It's like it's the eight piece.
Dropped that mouthpiece in that bare knuckle fight. When the mouthpiece came out, it's like just a 2-roll hook, 2-3 really.
It was like over the top and just. I was like, did he spit it out or did you knock it out? Either way, he didn't want to be there. Let's just say that.
No, for sure.
But I mean, and you might show little scars on your face, but that ain't nothing.
So, I mean,
You handled it.
Got like all career, I have about 100 stitches in my face. Like
holy shit,
so,
man!
I mean, it's not like anything new to me.
I can't
Although
tell.
I was on like a 10 fight no cut spree, 10 fight no stitches spree. But I mean, bare knuckle. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
so I saw that they have wraps. Is it like a wrap?
it's just tape and gauze around your wrists, and then they cut it off like right below the knuckle. Yeah.
Because when I first heard about bare knuckle, I was like, I don't think that'll, not like it won't fly, but I'm just like, I was watching Joe Rogan talk about like our hands and our wrists, and it was like we're meant to craft and build things, but like also there's a little structure that used to be there from when we were apes, so we used to fucking fight, and so it's like, but now we have weak ass wrists, and I was like, I don't know if people are snapping wrists.
I don't. I got strong man hands. And
yeah,
that's why
I was not worried about you watching.
That's why. Yeah, I mean, I was super pumped, and like I just feel like bare knuckle just really fits into my skill set that I already have, and like I haven't. Obviously, I just only had one fight, so who knows? But like I didn't really have to change my game up at all. It's just like I got big hands. I've always like worked construction and stuff, and I feel like a lot of times you get MMA fighters who go to bare knuckle, by the time they get there, their hands have been messed up. I've never broken my hands. Never, you know what I mean? Like I've never had any problems with that. So it just works out really good.
That's a blessing because Mason wasn't that lucky. I don't know. Did you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that fight.
Dude, I remember it was it happened. I'm watching it live at work, and I show my coworkers. I go, I know this guy, and I'm losing my mind. Right? Needless to I didn't know, but he had snapped that bone right here because he ran right at him. Right? You saw, boom, and he goes within 5 seconds. I snapped it. He goes, it felt like my hand wraps had come up, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not supposed to happen. He goes, it won't. Like that's not. You're never gonna feel that. And I'm like, okay, and what'd you do? He goes, I did what anyone else would do. I fought for the next 3 rounds.
Yeah.
He goes, with it busted, I go, Mason, you're an animal.
It was the first like 5 seconds, the most savage fucking punch. Just fucking sprints at the man, just fucking drops him. Somehow
Hard,
that
too.
man survived, which was insane. Broke his hand in the process, and then proceeded to win the fight. 3 whole rounds of a broken hand. Like, Mason Pillow is a fucking savage.
Mason, you're an animal. Okay, you're forever the animal. But. And I wanted to thank you for bringing Kevin. Kevin, thank you for being here, of course.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And I wanted to have you on because you're a character, man. And I say that in the best way possible with the wall and the Funko Pops. You know?
Yeah, let's go.
And, like, I remember watching your videos of just on Instagram. It's like, oh, he's skateboarding. And it's like, no, he's skateboarding and he's also doing the headband boxing. I'm like, okay. And then you aggressively run to the camera and you've got 2 ice cream cones. And you go, I like ice cream. And you eat ice cream. I go, this dude's just like one of us. Like, he's just.
It's my favorite.
It's like he's one of us and he's just a character and I have to talk to him. Because, like, that personality I fully believe is going to be, like, a fan favorite of BKFC. And, you know, I don't give a fuck if people are like, oh, he did bare knuckle. He's not an MMA guy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking and I'm like, no. I think it's opportunity. It's opportunity.
I'm a prize fighter. If you got a prize I want, I'll fight for it. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got like 6 pro boxing fights. I got like two or 3 pro kickboxing fights. I mean, like, yeah. If you got a prize I want, I'm gonna fight you for it.
Oh yeah. Also, I like your phrase. The check cash is the same. You know, and I just think it's an opportunity. I think MMA and starting on this journey of fighting is like there's not just UFC, there's not just the big names. It's like people have prizes and they're willing to pay good fighters like yourself to compete.
For sure.
I mean, it's the same universally. I just think part of the game is figuring out that there is opportunity outside of the one thing people look at.
And it wasn't like that. Me coming up and me start, you know, like it wasn't like that at all. You know, I mean, I started 16 years ago. You know, so like. You know, I started in like it was all a myth. Like you knew somebody whose cousin knew somebody who his sister knew a black belt or saw a black belt one time at a gas station. You know what I mean? Like I started in a barn on carpet pad over gravel.
That was your beginning?
Yeah, it was my beginning. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so just, I mean, the sport's evolved so much. And like, that's the thing with bare knuckle is like, they need someone like me. They need someone who will fight. They need someone who will entertain the crowd. Like I'm exactly what they're looking for. I feel like the UFC like just really tries to censor you, you know, like just really tries to cookie cutter you up because for whatever reason, you know what I mean? But it's like the more fans you get, the more money they have to pay you. You know what I mean? So they censor the shit out of you. And bare knuckle's not like that. I came to drop bombs and bang moms. So what's up, you know?
Also,
hello, ladies.
I developed a T-shirt for Stephen Heston. Right, and I was playing with that, and I have an artist who does like cartoon work. I was like, I have a perfect picture of you in that fluffy, overcoat, whatever you want to call it. It looks like a robe.
It's like my fur jacket.
Fur jacket. It's a green fur. It's
it's
really
like blue. Yeah.
It's as rare as you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I put that on there. I'm like, I'm gonna wear that as a T-shirt.
Let's go.
And I was like, I'll give you one.
Hell yeah. I'm down.
Oh hey, everyone likes free shit.
Yeah, I do.
But and another cool thing is, you guys, obviously you train together and you live together. How is that dynamic? Because Mason and Luna live together in the fight house. I'm like, you two opposites. Luna's kind of like reserved, quiet, kind of like, oh yeah, this is this and that. Mason's just a fucking animal.
I mean, I think that's. I mean, he's pretty reserved and quiet, I'd say, and I'm a fucking animal.
You're the animal.
I mean? It's not like I'm an animal at my house though. I normally just sit on my couch. You know what I mean? Like like I'll like get with like girls or whatever, and they like think that my life's so glamorous because I have a little bit of time on the camera, and it's like I'm in the gym all the time, and if I'm not at the gym, I'm on my couch, and then every so often, every couple months, I have a weekend that's like cool, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But otherwise, I'm just chilling. You know,
I have this thing going on a month from now. They're like, "This is it." They're like, "This is all we get." You're like, "Yeah." You're
Yeah.
like, I live and breathe this shit.
Yeah.
Like this is
I've
this
given my
isn't-
life for it.
it isn't easy either. Like
Who you telling, brother?
because I remember going in to the gym and the same mentality. I'm like, oh yeah, just like 4 or 5 months, I'll be ready. And it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, dog, I've-
You're
I've
better
got
than you were when you got there.
16 years in, and I'm still not where I want. You know what I mean? Like,
I just think
I
that's part
still
of the
have so
fighter
much to
mentality.
fucking
I think you talked
learn.
about it when we had you. Never like contentment. Like you're like, even if we were talking about, even if I get to the UFC, it's like there's always something I'm looking for. There's always
Yeah.
something
Dog,
out there.
getting
Yeah.
to the UFC is easy. Staying in the UFC is the problem. That's where it's hard.
Well, and
you know
it's
what I mean?
always last minute. I've
Yeah.
noticed that it's always like, hey, we have a
Yeah.
fight in 36 hours. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, I mean that's
Okay.
how you got to get in for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I hate to
It's like their way of initiation. They gotta make sure that you're ready at all times.
I guess you're right. You're like, hey, 36 hours, be out here. Okay.
On weight,
Totally fine.
be ready.
Yeah, you were like, I'm 15 pounds tomorrow. Got it. Done. Well, and I like that you brought it up, and I don't mean to dog any of the, but it's
Let's
like,
dog them. Let's
Okay.
go.
okay, deal.
Rawr, rawr.
It's just like, it's become just a fucking popularity contest. Like you said, the more, like, I love Michael Chandler, but like he fully was going to walk in there, go, nope, I'm taking the belt. I'm going to be the best. And it's like, nope. Like it's not as easy as you thought, right? I mean, no offense. He was a Bellator champ and was murdering people over there, but it's not that easy. But then he's just like, oh, I'll take the beating of a lifetime for some more money because there's more money here if I bring the people over and blah, blah, blah. And it just became kind of a popularity thing rather than
I mean,
when I used to watch like Brock Lesnar and these guys do it,
yeah.
you know?
That's all this is. Like people make the mistake of thinking that this is a sport.
Right.
It's not a sport. This is entertainment.
Mhm.
Like in football, you can't have the number 1 team play the number 15 team in the Super Bowl because the fans want that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. It's entertainment. What you bring to the table, not only fights. Like you got to fight and you got to be entertaining. You know, and like
Right.
that. It's not a sport. It's entertainment. You know.
And there's one aspect that's a sport that I personally have learned from, and like I said, me and Sam was the jiu-jitsu part. Like I never thought I'd understand the words, you'll just feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you can't tell me what it is necessarily when you're in the rolling, but you're like, no. I'm like, how'd you do that? And they're like, you just feel it. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not advice. You're just telling me to do
That's
what
not
I
good
do on a
advice.
regular basis.
Yeah.
I'm just doing that now. I'm feeling choked out is what I'm feeling like. That's what I
Yeah.
feel like.
Lightheaded.
Yeah. Like I mean, I have like no idea normally what I do. I do. You know, and like there are some people who like can break it down and know. Man, I just move. I'm a feeler. Like
Right.
some people can like think about it and like whatever. I feel shit, and so I just go in there and I feel it, and my body does what it does. I mean, because if you add like wrestling, and I got like 19 years of combat sport experience. You know
So
what I mean?
is that your background, wrestling?
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I wrestled for 3 years in high school. Yeah.
Okay. Because like, I don't know. Would you say that was how do I put? Would wrestling benefit your jiu-jitsu game,
Yeah.
or were there habits you had to like
So
break down?
jiu-jitsu's fucking gay. All right. People who like
Cut that.
No, I mean, like, I'm a black belt. Like, I mean, I do love jujitsu, but like, there's just a lot of stuff in like the jujitsu culture that like is fucking lame. You know what I mean? And like, doesn't translate to fight. Like, I don't like wrestling is key. Like, if you have a couple years of wrestling experience and you learn some submissions and some defense, like, you can break any jiu-jitsu guy. Like we got, like there's a kid like who trains with us who's amazing jiu-jitsu, and like he ended up losing one of his fights because you run into motherfuckers like me who just don't give a fuck.
Right.
Break my arm. I don't fucking care. You're not gonna beat me. Go
Right.
ahead. And like that's why I stick with chokes. I mean, chokes are good, and like I mean I have like 10 or 12 submissions, at a pro level.
Right.
But like most of those are chokes because I hit the guy, I hit him so hard, and there's his neck. And so you grab, like
It's a feeling thing you're talking about.
yeah, man. I don't like. I don't think jujitsu's gay, guys. I was just playing, all right? And I love the gays, so
Okay,
it wasn't a slander, all right? I'm just fucking around. But like I do not agree with a lot of like jujitsu culture and like
I agree with you.
It's lame. Like if you lay on your back, you're losing a fight. And like unless you hit the sub, you're losing the fight. And maybe at a low level, you know, like I mean this kid can hit subs left and right because he's an amateur, you know, like no people don't know what to do. At a high level, like you got like it's
a lot
like
different.
1% of the submissions land. You know what I mean? And like, you know, yeah, I mean it comes down to your will. That's what like I can outwill your shit. You know what I mean? Like you can put me something that obviously you can't outwill something if you can't breathe. So chokes are solid. But like if you put me in like a joint thing, you know what I mean? I've had like they didn't break fully, but like I mean I've had like 2 broken arms, you know what I mean, from fights, you know, and I've won both of those because I just won't quit. I'm not break it, Pepe Le Pew, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like break it, Frenchie, you know, like I mean, I just don't give a fuck.
That's a habit that Sam helped me break. Do you remember telling me that in the gym?
Which one?
You were like, get off your back, man.
Oh yeah,
Remember
don't
that?
stay there.
I'm like for most of the round, I'm like, I'm gonna try this thing, and you're like, you don't. You're like, stop that.
And like
and
I mean,
like, okay,
I'll do that a lot, like in practice. I mean, especially with people who aren't as good as me, because it's easy.
Yeah.
And like that's the whole thing about like jujitsu. Brazilians want to smoke weed and surf. They don't want to work hard.
Yep.
And like wrestlers fucking go. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know, like wrestling's like the hardest fucking thing. And jiu-jitsu, it's easy. If I can sit to my butt, like, you know, especially if you're like a little bit better than the guy, like it's easy, you know, like.
Well, have you watched the like combat jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I did. I got a match under my belt.
You do? You got one of them?
Yep.
I didn't find that one.
I didn't see that. I didn't know that.
Yep. I rolled out. It was like a Halloween show, and I rolled out in like the Hannibal Lector outfit. James and Grant Dawson fucking pushed me out on a dolly.
I remember that walkout.
Yeah.
I don't remember that
Yeah.
actual competition.
Yeah.
Immediately, they're like, "Wait a minute, what am I? Is this jujitsu?" They're like, "I thought this is different. I don't want to be here."
How'd you like that stadium, that arena? Do you know what I'm talking about in Kansas? The Kansas one?
Oh, I mean,
it's kind of like outside, right?
Oh, yeah. That's in Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh, I went there. Yeah.
It was cold as shit. It was like October, like it was cold. It was cold as hell.
Because it's all open.
Yeah.
It's just a fence and then a ceiling.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, listen.
I didn't like it, but I've also fought in like legitimate trailer parks. So like, I mean, well, you know, what
That's.
I mean?
I want to get back to that. You said so. You started with no Octagon. You were like, oh, we have a rug, and we're gonna have you guys fight each other for $100.
A kid, I was working graveyard at a gas station when I was 20 years old. A kid that I beat up in high school came in telling me he was a cage fighter at like 3 a.m. I was like, well, if you're a fucking cage fighter, I'm a cage fighter. Can you get me a fight? And he said yes. I quit smoking cigarettes that night, had a fight, my first fight the next week, and 14 months later, I was 20-0 as an amateur.
What was that, 20? Okay, it's a little different. Yeah, because it's not
14 months.
I mean, I have people, you have people, whether it's like, in the comedy scene who are like, oh, I did a bar where there was like 10 people and blah, blah, blah. You start from nothing. And I'm like, I mean, that is true. But a lot of these amateurs, like you, for example, you get to fight at like FAC and a lot of these big.
Yeah, and like this was the Wild West days.
Yeah.
16 years ago is a completely different like atmosphere of the sport. You know what I mean? Like, and I literally won all those fights because I was tough. I had good cardio, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, just people couldn't keep up. But like nowadays, it's different. Like, you got kids like him fucking training with UFC fighters every day. You know, like
black belts.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
Best in the world.
Well, that Sam, like, you're world class, man. Like, the more I watch your like the development, and like I was watching the Instagram pictures and posts that you had on there, and I'm like,
Let's reel that back a little bit. Let's reel that back. He's working towards it.
Yeah,
that's it.
4 years ago, I ain't shit. Now I ain't shit.
And that's cool. And he's right where he needs to be. But world class, let's calm that down. Yeah. He's getting there.
He's watching over me. He knows what's up.
I think I'm getting a gist of what the household seems like.
Well, you gotta let these kids know. I get so mad at these little bastards. They have no clue how good they have it. They get to go to GLORY MMA, one of the best gyms in the world, straight out the gate. Yeah. I had to you know what I mean? Like
are you from? Did you start here? How'd you find James and GLORY?
I mean, I'm from Columbia, Missouri, so a couple hours away. James cornered against me. Maybe now he's cornered me more times than he's cornered against me, but it's pretty close. We just fought. All the same people. I was always the enemy, and so I mean, we've known each other forever. And I ended up, I went out to Albuquerque. I fought for Jackson's for 4 or 5 years, and then another gym out there for a while, and then I moved back here, and it's just obviously if I'm gonna move here, that's where I'm gonna go. So,
I mean, he's got a pretty good roster of dudes and a lot of people who are coming up. Even the amateurs, they are. It's stacked. Yeah. It just is glory. For sure. Glory.
And I feel like I got in, I came here 5-6 years ago. So I got in right before it started to really take off. And it's just been cool to be there,
Yeah. And not, like I said, it's kind of, when I was there with you at Gladstone and then I went to Overland Park, it was when it's small and not necessarily known necessarily this is the UFC gym. They don't know that yet. You have people who want to be there. You have the guys who are I'm willing to be here 5 days a week, 2 classes, 4 hours a day. I do this shit for real. And those guys are the people who I talk to, like you, Mason, all the guys that helped develop anything that I have. Everything that we're sitting in is from behaviors and things that the gym taught me.
Right, yeah.
So not only did it translate to real life, but it's they teach you that you have layers of yourself. There's pieces of you that you have to find through tough hardship, adversity, and all of this stuff.
That's legitimately life. Yeah. It's people, I talk to people a lot, and they want to act like I'm something special, and I'm not special. I try. I don't give up.
I'm so glad you said that.
That is literally, it's simple, people. Yeah. You got to look like an idiot. You know how many times I've been embarrassed in front of the world, in front of millions of people watching, and guess what? I'm still here. You know how many people were better than me that stopped?
Right.
And then here I am. I just, if you want something, you have to give it your everything. You know what I mean? And if you don't do that, then you don't want it, and go ahead and live your shitty life.
Well, and if you come to the gym with the same attitude, you're going to know within about 20 minutes. Okay, not for me.
Real quick.
I was going to say, Zach is a good example. You remember that? You remember he was like, hey, Zach. His name's Chase. I've been known him for 2 weeks. He goes, I'm not going to know your name.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
No? Yeah. Oh, my God. And I go like this. I'm just starts. I go, well, no. He goes, be here 2 months and I'll learn your name.
Yeah. I'm I have a thing where which I'm trying to get better about it because I'm teaching now, but I don't remember your name unless you hit me hard.
Yeah.
If you are a threat to me in any way, or you could be, that's when I remember your name because I've done it so long. You don't know how many people have come in and then they're there for a week and then you never see them again. It's just after a while, it's just, stick around and I might learn it.
Right.
Maybe,
But I mean, that's a good lesson because then not only did I want to because there's 2 methods you can go. It's the first one is you get butthurt, pissed off, and you never go back. Or you go like this, I want you to know my fucking name.
Let's fucking go. Let me work hard, and that's how you get good.
Right. And then it's oh, okay, that's well worth it. And I know that developed you in every aspect.
Yeah, I wouldn't be who I am today without this team, bro.
It's, like I said, I believe what you said is true, Kevin, that we do have it lucky because we got to go there and train with all you guys. But but at the same time, it's you still have to be willing to go there and put in the work.
You gotta get your ass beat. That's what's gonna happen. And you're gonna suck and you're gonna get beat up. And if you keep coming back, eventually you won't suck and you will get beat up less. You know, and like
that's what he did for me.
that's
Thanks, Sam.
and like, dude, that's like the best like lessons in life. You know what I mean? Like I know 100% that I can do anything that I want to do because if I put half of the effort that I put into this into anything else, I know I can do it. You know what I mean? It's like the amount of effort and dedication it takes. Like that's once you learn how to get good at one thing, once you learn how to get good at something, you can get good at anything. You know what I mean? Like I might not be a surgeon, you know what I mean? Or like whatever. Like there's some things that have their limits, but like you just keep.
You still have to walk into it like you could be a surgeon. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'll cut you up. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, you need something out, I got you.
Luna said the same thing. He goes, it's the idea, the mentality that if I walk to school right now and I spend 4 years to be an engineer, I'm gonna be a fucking engineer, right? Like it's not. Even if you're like, oh, I'm not smart enough, it's like none of that's there. It's all proper self-talk of like I've been through the shit. I've been through all the hardship that I've ever gone through. So it's like at any point, this is anything is at my will, whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? And me and you talked about destiny, kind of like playing with it. Like you stumbled upon Glory by walking into there asking for a job, you know? And Mason, Luna, Gomi, they all were like, oh, I just happened to Google it. And then they were open the first day. Or like, oh, Gomi drove down the street. And then he was like, oh, it wasn't on Google. It wasn't open yet. And he walked in. It was just Trey, and Lucas hitting pads.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, there. And he goes, I wasn't even in Kansas. I was at college in a different state. Just happened to drive down Metcalf and saw the gym. And I was like, there's a like destiny at this play.
And that shit is not easy to find. I have gone there at least 4 times, and each time I pass it.
I still pass it.
It's not hard. It's not hard at all. But it's okay.
Well, I'm trying to think of like, because so you're a vet. You've been around. You've seen every aspect of what MMA has to offer, what fighting has to offer, and something that shocked me, and I know the outcome wasn't the way that you were probably expecting back then, but you went against Justin Gaethje.
Yeah. Yep. 3 days notice, weight class up.
Yeah.
Because I needed rent money.
Catch weight at 160.
Don't be an idiot like me, kids.
Yeah.
Good stories though, boys.
Yeah. No, it's just like I'm going through and I'm like, I know that guy. Oh shit, I know that guy. Like I know these people, and it's like I fully have like put you into that category of just like someone who has a lot to offer guys like Sam and a lot to teach him, including the lessons of like, whoa, step back that world-class shit. Like, he's not there yet. Yeah. And I'm like, that's humbling, but also.
Well, I mean, it's just the truth. It's like, I'm not gonna bullshit you.
Why lie?
I'm not gonna bullshit you. Like, I've been there, I've done it. I know what it looks like, and like, he'll get there, but like, no. And like, it's different now, but like for the longest time, I didn't have anything in my life other than being a fighter. That's all I had. I was broke. I was sleeping on couches. I was doing whatever it took to get by, And so like when people would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fighter," I'd be like, "Bitch, you ain't no fighter." Like that really got to me because that's the only thing I had. And now like whatever, I'm a little bit less like that, but like still, nah. Like you got to earn this shit, And like that's the thing I really like about the sport and just like the training and stuff is like you can know who a person is within 5 minutes of a grappling session. You know what I mean? Like I can know if I want to hang out with you. I can know if I want to talk to you. I can know who you are with not knowing anything about you. It's like you can't bullshit this. I love this shit. I fucking love this shit because you can't fucking bullshit this.
Right.
And trust me, I'm a bullshitter. I can bullshit anything. You know what I mean? But like this is one thing that like you can't, like your work will show 100%. Like you can't fake this shit.
No, and like that's how I knew you were like, Sam is the best because it was like not only could he, if he wanted to, like, because I had no. Like I said, when I told Sam I had no experience. I didn't know how to punch. I didn't know how to. I went to title boxing for like a month and then learned how to do the speed bag and then did the classes with the soccer moms. That's all I had. And I'm like,
what's up, ladies?
Yeah. Throw bombs, bang moms.
That's what I do.
Let's go.
And Sam was the guy who was like, he could just murder me in an instant. But that's not work. That's not work for you at that point. then you're not helping me at that point.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's a mutual, like, we're here at the same time. Like, if you succeed, it's because you succeed. If I succeed, it's because I succeed. Same with this. No one's going to put this episode together. No one's going to hit Sam up. No one's going to talk to you. No one's going to do this shit unless you do it.
If you want something, you got to do it.
Right, and it's the same thing with MMA, which is why I liked the individuality of MMA. But it's people like Sam who keep me there and also keep me accountable, just like you're keeping him accountable, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that atmosphere is really hard to find and or cultivate in a real life scenario.
Yeah.
Like if
Especially
I go work
for free motherfuckers.
The one thing that I love about this, and like I've been around a lot of other like artistic endeavors and stuff, like in seeing artists and like everything, is like we have a pecking order in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know your fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you walk in the gym and like you know where you are and you can fight for it. At the end of class, I can fight for my spot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like there's no bullshit about it. Like I know where I am, you know, and like you're going to find out every day, you know, and like you can contest that shit. You can go in and try to change that, you know?
Yeah.
And like with a lot of other stuff, it's just like, oh, well, I could be better. Like, oh, I'm better than him. Or like, there's like, I feel like a lot of like bullshit and bickering and like whatever. It's like, whatever, like, let's fight. That, you know, like that's like it all comes down to that, you know?
It's one of the few things that's final. It's like
that's
the
trump card.
Actions.
It's the trump card. Like no matter what, I can lift more weights. Like blah blah. I make more money. Blah. Blah, I'll beat your ass.
Yeah,
like
right.
What are you gonna do? Like that.
You're like sign the waiver.
And I get that. That's like a like people say it's uncivilized, but fuck you. I'll beat your ass.
No, it's not uncivilized. I think they call it uncivilized because they're not willing to step in there and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like, no, I have this job. I pull up in this Benz, and you're like, yeah, but like I'll kill you.
Yeah, yeah, I'll murder you in the street.
And they were
there's
like,
nothing you could do about it.
I'll sue you. You're like, I still beat you.
Well,
I don't know.
You're gonna be dead, so how are you gonna sue me then? You know what I mean? No face, no case.
Right. Well, and there was another thing. Another thing that you do really well is you said you feel it's a feeling type thing. And when you got the Roosevelt, when you had that choke tight, you go, don't stick your neck out like that for me. And it was like if you blinked, you missed the second of time where his eyes were like this. And his neck was out. You know what I mean? I
had like in 2011, it was my first fight when I was at Jackson's. I have like almost a mirrored image of that fight, except it was 16 seconds and it was just opposite. In Roosevelt, I dropped him with the left hook.
Mm-hmm.
In the first fight, I dropped him with the rear uppercut. And same thing, snatched it up, just like it's just like playing them side by side. It's pretty funny because it's like I've done that before. Like it's awesome. Whatever.
History repeats itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the same thing. It's like all these guys in here. It's like I'm not. When they start walking to the cage, it's like they're not thinking about, whoa, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what this is. But it's because they've trained it for the whole fight camp. It's like I said, you can't bullshit. It's really like I'm here to fight. I've put in the work to fight, to be here. I overcame adversity. I fought in fucking barns. You know, I like this is it. And it's like I just think that you don't find that in everyday life, and people just kind of write that shit off. But I'm like, I don't think any of the stuff that I have that I tell people I'm living the life I thought I would never have 3 or 4 years ago. Like, and I keep bringing that up because it's like you got to get to a point where like a piece of you has to like die. Like you have to come to that crossroads where it's like I'm at the lowest point. Like I don't know what to do. And then for me, it's like that's why Glory like changed my life. Because like I went there with a negative attitude, just like I'm sick of life. Like beat me down. Let's have someone else beat me down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you said on, I don't know if it was like the MMA Report or any of those things, but you said that this game changed your life. Like it saved your life.
It saved my life. It's my savior.
MMA
is my religion.
What did it do?
Would
you just in a bad spot?
Be in prison or I'd be dead. 100%. 100%.
What, you just trouble kid?
I had a
trouble child?
I had a fucking hard come up, you know?
Yeah.
And I wasn't okay with me. And I I lashed out. MMA allowed me to be me. I'm this wild, crazy, silly fucker of a guy, and like I never could have allowed myself to be me before. Like it gave me the confidence, and like not only that, just anytime my life has fallen apart, like throughout the years, I've been able to just put all of my training, all of my energy into training, and like that's the only thing. It's the only thing I've ever cared about more than fucking up. Like I'm not going to go out and drink. I'm not going to go do this because I got to train tomorrow. And like it's the only thing I've ever really cared about.
And like I said, I have an 8-year-old, so it's just, yeah, I know. I'm leaving that in.
Heck yeah.
But like he'll come up, and it's not only passed on. So like Sam, like like lessons that I took from you, or like took from Trisham, or took from all these guys, like that. It's like symbiotic. It passes down to my kiddo. So like he comes in here, and I'm like, hey, Daddy has to pay for this. Daddy has to be here till midnight tonight. Are you cool with that? And that's his computer. He'll just chill there and play fucking games.
Right.
And it's contagious. It's like I call it the best virus.
Yeah.
And Glory MMA is the best virus because that dedication, determination not only sticks to you, but then now my kiddo is like, I want that. And he's like, he's making lists. He's 8 and he's like, I got this stuff to do. I'm like, you're 8. What do you have to do right now? He's like, I got to pick up my room. I got to do this and do that. And I'm like, that's great. Like it's accountability and responsibility that not only like it transcends you as a person. Oh, you're good. I was like, it feels like the weather just got like cold.
Anytime it changes real quick, my nose just gets messed up.
But like I said, thanks for coming back, Sam.
Yeah, most definitely.
Anything what do you got to share? Anything new happening in your? You just doing the same thing, training, fucking.
Yeah, just getting ready for the next one for real.
I'm excited
for it. Yeah, really
I'm excited for you.
Fuck yeah.
But is there anybody? February. That's the same card that doesn't have Ollie. Is it Ollie Mace? There's a couple other Glory guys that are on that February card. Mason.
They haven't made any announcements yet. But
cut that.
Yeah.
But it's just dope. I'm glad to be involved, be in the corner, and then obviously see you come up.
Yeah, most definitely.
But
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much. Like I feel like I could talk for 3 fucking hours about how like, let's get into the detail of how this changed my life. And yeah, that could be interesting. Maybe another time, guys. But not right now.
What about you? What you got? You got anything? Any big news coming up?
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that, like, seizing opportunity is a big part of life, and just like how you seized that bare knuckle fight, you were talking about it on the show, on one of the other shows, podcast. You were like, they offered, I guess, a couple years ago, and James was like, no. And it's like, it was just different, but opportunity is going to be there. It's going to show itself in different forms, different like facets of what you have to offer. And like when I started doing this, it was like, you kind of know that you're not special. Like you said, you're not special, but the person who's going to work their ass off, the hard worker who's going to be here I'm going to be here till midnight. I'll make sure that everything's perfect. Right. And then they're like, you're fucking crazy. They go, you work full time? I go, yeah. They go, and you do that full time? I go, yeah. And they go, what's wrong with you? I go, nothing. What's wrong with you? Like, how are you? It's just different. There's different.
Yeah, I mean, I worked construction
most contagious
for
virus.
so long, and then go train. You know what I mean? Like work construction, full-time job, work my ass off, and then go work my ass off at the gym. It's like anybody who like doesn't have what they want in life, that's your fault. And it's hard. Anything worth having in this life is really fucking hard to get. And you have to work really hard, and you got to bleed, and you got to sweat, and you got to probably cry because that's what I do.
Bro, don't. Yeah, like saying like, yeah, I think it's because you're invested in something so much. It's like it's above you at that point. You're like, this is everything to me.
Yeah.
So like when you lose everything, it's like it's gone, right? And then it's like learn to be sad and be upset in the moment, but know that tomorrow's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like it's a whole different world the next day.
also, I mean, I feel like being a fighter and like going through all this and putting all your heart and soul in this and then losing and then having to make the decision to go back to the gym on Monday and like go back in there, like people don't understand about dealing with loss and like all this stuff, you know, like, and I mean, I've lost fights where it wasn't my fault, like it fucking happened. I got caught, like I did everything I was supposed to do and it just wasn't my day, you know, and like that's heartbreaking and it's terrible, but you make the decision to get up and you go back in. And like, I don't think a lot of people know how to do that. And like, that's a skill in life. And it sucks to get it. It sucks to like earn that skill, but like just to be able to keep on keeping on, you know, like, and if you can do that, there's not a lot you can't do.
Well, yeah, and that's, like I said, that's universal. That's not just with one specific thing. It's like, it could be, if you do the 9 to 5, no offense to you guys who do 9 to 5, we all have to work to do this. It's just like, you can take that there too. If you put in an effort and you're like, oh, my boss didn't see me today. You're like, okay, well, how do you make him see you? You know what I mean? What can I do extra?
Right.
It's like, that's a different attitude. It's just like, they'd rather bicker than work towards it. And like, I like to call it the mirror method. Like, you have to be willing to step in front of the mirror, go like, I fucked up this, and this, right? Like, and then not get upset and like, I'm not going to deal with it. You're like, no, I got to fucking face it. Like, if I don't, then I'm just going to be bad at that forever. That sucks. I don't know if that's just an individual as a person or if Glory taught me that, but it's always been like, I don't know. I feel like all you guys and me included, we're just a little bit crazy.
Just a tad.
I'm a psycho.
Just a little. Okay, little of us are crazy, and then the rest of us are psycho.
Yeah. But no in between, just insane.
Is there like I'm just curious about I call it the good old days of fighting. Do you have one that sticks out still now, 16 years later, where you're like, that was like fucked up? Like, where is this? Like, did they like a private like showing of MMA? They're like, hey, get Kevin. He'd do it. Like anything out there.
I mean, I had a guy call timeout in the middle of a fight once. I split his head open with a knee. He looks at the ref and times out. I looked at him and jumped on his back. The ref was roided out as fuck, ripped me off. And I remember when he was ripping me off, I was like, you're going to have to kill me, motherfucker. He didn't kill me. He just pulled me off because he's fucking huge. And they took him out of the ring and wrapped his head up. He got like a 5-minute break, wrapped his head up with like gauze, like can't send him back in with the turban, and made me fight him again.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What? When was this?
2013.
That's still more recent than I thought. I'm like, this is like 2007. I'm like,
yeah, no, that was in Kazakhstan. There's, different country. What do they know?
Yeah, where you said 7 countries?
Kazakhstan. Yeah, I fought in 7 countries. Yeah, that one was in Kazakhstan. It's pretty wild. You can, I think it's on UFC Fight Pass. You can check it out. It's pretty wild.
They're like, we've got a second guy coming in. Has a different headdress on. He's ready to fight. He timed out, which means he can bring the other guy in. You're like, what country am I in right now? Where is this?
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, and I mean, back in the day, like, you would just show up to the venue and be like, what weight are you? You're 162. Well, I'm 157. Let's fight. You know what I mean? Like, you have no clue. It's just you would pick your fights pretty much. You know what I mean? And you walk in and be like, what's up? You want to fight? Like, yeah, sure, I want to fight. You know, like, yeah. Like, I mean, I fought 20 times in 14 months. So, I mean, I was fighting like every other weekend sometimes. Like, like I just was getting it in,
Right. And I mean, so that leads me to a good question because, like I said, I had 2 different individuals like I have right now. I had Mason over in your chair and I had Luna in your chair. Luna was like, the question I asked was like, what's the reason you fight? And I'll start with you because Luna had a perspective. He goes, like, I want to have something that like is legacy. Like, I want to have something that at least lasts past my kids. Like, oh, my great granddad used to be a UFC something like some kind of a legacy. And then Mason was like, nah. He goes, that belt over there on the wall, it's poison. And I'm like, poison? He goes, yeah, it makes me comfortable. I don't like it. He goes, I look at it and I go, yeah, that's not gonna help me Monday when I go against Trey. Yeah. And I'm like, that's healthier than I thought you were gonna say, you animal. What? So saying, I was like, why do you And it could have changed since the last time we talked. Why do you fight? Like, what's the thing that you're just trying to take everything out of this game?
Yeah, I don't remember what I said last time, but I feel like it's going to be a little different answer.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's a couple months difference.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I truly fight just for the knowledge of self-defense and being able to pass it on to people who can't really fight for themselves and stuff like that. Just like that knowledge is always going to be here now, and I'm going to continue learning and developing my own skills and putting it to good use throughout the community. Make sure that, like, if I see anything out in public, I'm going to stop it. I mean,
right.
But also,
That's how you get shot. That's how you get stabbed.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I'm not going to go out of my way to, like, stop a shooting.
You're speaking to the nerd in me, because I've got a bunch of superhero shit on the wall, and I'm like, that's right. I'm Captain America if I wanted. I could be him.
Get stabbed in the liver.
Yeah. That's right. I'm not pumped for
especially
super.
when you're like, oh, hey, I'm a fighter. People are like, ah.
They were like, oh, you want to fight? And then they pull out 2 knives.
Stab you real quick and walk away.
How's yours changed, Kevin? Because you were saying you used to fight just to fucking pay the bills.
No, like, I mean, I am a born fighter. Some people choose fighting, and like that's totally cool. I came out of the womb fighting. I'm a fighter. Like that, it is who I am.
It's in your DNA.
It's the only thing that I get. I really understand it. Like, I'm so self-analytical and, like, all this stuff, and like my brain's always racing. I'm always trying to figure something out. And when I walk into the ring, I'm living in that moment. That's life.
It's like the only time that
life.
you're there, present there, and
that's life, And like, you're scared every time I do it. I'm like, fuck, why am I doing this again? I got like 100 fights, and every time I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this again? You know what I mean? It's
right.
Like, that's life, living outside of your comfort zone, and like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm just a fighter. It's just who I am,
When it's like I said, I fully agree that it's in your DNA, you character, you monster. Just kidding. Because it's kind of like people do have tendencies and things that make them who they are, and like, I'm vastly different from my parents. Like, it's just, I remember the common thing I would get is like, how is it, those your parents? I go, yeah. And they go, you look the same, but like, what? They're like, how'd you turn out like this? I go, I don't know. The universe? God? I don't know.
Public school.
Yeah, public school. And I got bullied a lot. So, and I, like I said, I asked that because, like, I do agree that, like, it's nice to have something like a belt or things that you can go over. But, I mean, you probably saw when I was reading off your statistics and all the stuff that you have. You're like, yeah, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's still something that puts me on the edge of that cliff just a little bit, right? It's like that fear is still there. And it's so nerdy that I'm about to quote Batman. But, like, that he had to, like, get to the point of, like, being fearful again to, like, hit a new echelon, a new level. And it's like, I think that fear's a good thing.
I mean, yeah, but like comfort, like, we all crave comfort, and like, it's the worst thing for us.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing as a human to be comfortable. Like, it breaks you down, it makes you weak, it makes you soft, you know? And like, if you don't push yourself out of the comfort zone, then who are you? What are you?
Right. I mean,
probably not very great,
And it's limited. Like, we're not here for a long time. Like, and like, my favorite quote is, we're all playing the same game, but none of us win, none of us make it out alive. So, like, you might as well enjoy whatever makes you happy.
Drive the shit like it's stolen till it goes, Like,
no, we're done.
I've always been about the story, Like, I kind of live my life for the story, Like, I didn't grow up with anything. I haven't ever really had a lot of like material possessions, but I have experiences, and like, you can't buy what I have. You know what I mean? Like, all of the money in the world can't buy what I have.
Well, even if they catch it on camera, like in the Octagon, it's still not the same experience you have in your head because you were there.
Yeah, and that camera is just a little bit of the time. You know what I mean? That's just a minute amount of time that has been put in all this. You don't see the going to the event. You don't, like, there's so much that you don't see. Nobody sees all the work you do. I mean, it's just like such a small fraction of time is captured ever, and yeah.
You shouldn't live that way either. You shouldn't live to have it captured. You should be in the moment to be.
Dog, I like getting pictures taken of me. I mean, look at me.
did too.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I like to knock motherfuckers out and look good for the camera.
Hey,
you know
listen,
what I mean?
this has 6 people and it has 6 million, and someone goes, "Hey, I want a picture." I'd be like, It's just the same thing. It's like no one's special to an extent. No one's special. Sure, you have gifted athletes, like we said, we were talking about the NFL. Sure, I don't have a 7-foot reach, and I'm not 330, right? I am 148 after the holiday weight. Okay, like there's no way. Like it's just, yeah, you can be built different and have all these things different, but at the end of the day, if you are an athlete but you don't work hard, you may get a belt or two and you may feel good about what you're doing, or you may make it to a college athlete level, but if you have the same person who works twice as hard, there you go. That's the true sign of someone who's there for the experience, there for
like I think fighting is like a big equalizer, like as far as like, yeah, you can, and I mean some people are physically talented and work really hard, and like they're obviously going to be the amazing, like the real standouts, but like I'm not talented. I didn't have like I just fucking worked hard, and like that's the thing is like the thing fighting is everybody's body style can do something good, and like there's no right wrong way. Like I mean there's definitely some right and wrong ways, but you know what I mean, but like
right.
like you can learn to adapt your style to who you are as a like as a human, and I think that's really a beautiful thing. Like there's no right answer, there's no wrong. Like you just have to work hard and find it for yourself.
Right. Did you? So so fighting's in your DNA, we've established that. Did you have people who, like I said, I don't know your background. Was there any family members, friends that were like, "You are crazy," or were they like, "That makes sense"? What was that? You're like, my parents are fucking crazy, Chase. I don't know. They don't like this. We talked about this. Please don't say it again.
I mean, everybody, like in my family was pretty supportive of it. I mean, like by the time that I started to do it, yeah. I mean, yeah. Everybody thinks I'm nuts. Like.
Except in the gym,
100%.
No, I think he's crazy.
No, dude. Yeah, no, I'm 100% one of the craziest people in the gym. Like, and that's a gym full of crazy. I'm a fucking psycho, and like, I'm nice and I'm cool, but like,
there's a limit.
Like,
there's a gauge there.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, I like it. I like it. I like pain. I like this shit. I've fucking known it my whole life.
It's so weird
like
how
fucking,
that's true. That's
I've been
so
abused, you know what I mean? Like and shit like that. You like just grow up like, I love this shit, and like it sucks. And like this guy right here doesn't. Well, I mean, I don't want to get hurt, but like, there's a fucking psycho inside me, and he comes out and he's
so
perfectly fine with it. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, man, like some of my fights, it's like that. Me right now is in the back seat and someone else is driving. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like there's something where I watch it and I like don't like I can't even believe what's happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because that's not me. That's the fighter. Like you know what I mean? Like that's yeah.
I mean that's the same consensus. Someone else shows up, like
not always, but yeah.
Well, like at least the true guys that I get to talk to, like Sam. Like this is Sam, but then Sam in the cage is very very different.
Yeah.
Just FYI, that same guy that's in the cage is not the same guy who was like, "Hey, don't fight off your back, man."
I get that so often. Like people will like rewatch my fights and be like, "That doesn't look like you. That's not like the happy-go-lucky motherfucker that we know." And I'm just like, "It's still me."
Yeah.
Ain't nothing changed.
I mean, not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that that if there's a period where that needs to like take over, it's right there.
Facts.
It's in the moment. You don't want to be like, "Hey, guy, you should probably throw that 3 right in the middle of the octagon." That's not gonna fly.
Yeah, no.
You're like, never mind.
Definitely not.
But I don't know. There's a weird contradiction between. I liked learning about what I could develop outside of the gym and taking that with me. Of course, that's a positive thing. but you said you like the pain, and it's so hard. I'm about to be a psycho with you. All three of us, we're about to be psychos, because I know that you also agree. It's like, you can take a little more than your body said you could. Like, I remember feeling like my first hard liver shot, and I'm like, it crumbled, and I'm like, oh, but like now this is like stuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's a permanent like lesson, and if I fuck up again, well, guess what's happening? But it's like I hit a new echelon peak. Like my body has a new level. Like, I'm like,
it's not your body, it's your mind.
Yeah, you're telling it like, this is what I can do.
You control everything, and like we as human beings are so much back to the comfort thing. It's like our whole life we crave comfort, and like, you know what I mean, like people like Navy SEALs and stuff like go through like this crazy amount of things, and like they realize that like when your body says no, when your mind says I can't, you're only about 60% of your capacity. You know what I mean? And like the more like heart is a muscle. You know what I mean? Like it's all a muscle, and if you work it, it gets really strong. You know what I mean? Like I've won a lot of fights by just not going away, fucking just not leave. Like
yeah,
so many people would stop and blah blah blah, and I just won't
get crazy.
I won't
They go,
what's
wrong with this guy? And you're like, I've just told my brain that I am not leaving.
Well, it's not a. I didn't tell him. There was never a question.
Yeah, it's like a muscle memory. It's just like in there. So like you can train like the synapses in your brain. You can train to do a different thing. So like if you do cognitive behavioral therapy, you can. It sounds so simple, but like you can tell if you, I have anxiety or I have this and that, and you catch it. Like literally, like I had a specialist like go over this with me. It's like you can catch the thought, right? Fact check it, and then change its direction. They go, what we found out is when you change that direction, those synapses get bigger and stronger, and then you're like literally telling yourself that that's the path those thoughts are going to go. And it's like, it's that way with everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, so we all have an inner bitch, you know? And like, if you let your inner bitch run shit, you're going to be a bitch. And if like you don't, you know what I mean? Like you can do, you know, like, because once again, it's like we crave comfort. We don't want, like, the easiest way to get out of a fight is this.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. And it's over. You know what I mean? And like to not do that is
not.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it would be so easy, but like, you know, the whole craving comfort thing is you just can't let yourself do that. Like we all would be so much weaker if we listened to the inner bitch. You know what I mean? Like
it's easier that
all
way.
of us. Yeah. This would be all be so easy, but like, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want in life? You know? And I don't want to be a bitch, so here I am.
You don't want nothing easy either.
I mean, I don't know. I'd take 500,000 right now.
No. Well, like,
no, I know. Man.
Oh, I was like, no, you wouldn't. I'm at the.
No, actually, no, 100%. I would.
Yeah. Oh, I'd take it too, but I know that I'm not gonna, like, I didn't know. I didn't find this out until like recently, but the, and not to get grim with it, but the highest suicide rate is like teens that are rich because their parents are rich. So like, let's just say Joe Rogan's daughters do a podcast, right? They still have the title Joe Rogan's daughter. So everyone who follows Joe Rogan is going to go watch their podcast because their daddy's Joe Rogan, right? Even if it's a hit, they have 1 million subscribers immediately, and they make a ton of money, and they have a bunch of brand deals, whatever. Those people end up because they didn't earn it.
Yeah.
And it's like that shit sets in very, very quick because it's like when I was younger, like 16, I'm like, I want to be rich. I want all this stuff. And then it's like, now as an adult at the ripe age of 26, I have to earn it. If I don't, it's just going to be another like Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like getting it's like skipping leg day. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like going through all the hard shit to get the money and to get this success and to get all that it builds your body up. And otherwise, you just have no legs and a huge thing, and you're going to topple over. You know what I mean? Like
I'll kick you in the calf.
If I had
kick you.
$1 million when I was 23, I'd be dead.
Yeah, I mean, there's
100%. Because
I'd last a year.
Yeah.
If I think I'd last a year. It's like, it's in my bank account. Like my first thing is if Okay, let's do the 500,000, right? I like where you're going. If that showed up my bank tomorrow, they were like, "We love what you're doing. Here's $500,000." My first instinct is not to necessarily buy anything. Like right now, honestly, truthfully, don't look at me like that, Kevin.
Right, but like that's because like now you're at a more stationary, like okay place.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like because you get it, you know. But if you're just giving it to, you know, like when you're younger, like it, you know, be a lot different.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, I'd rather cry in my Ferrari than be happy in my Honda. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. You would not, man. Not even close.
Yeah.
Like you'd be a statistic that would go, and then that's it. And it's just like, I don't think that people get that. And so to have someone like you come on who's a vet, who's had every opportunity in this game and taken every opportunity, it's in your DNA, right? Obviously, I'm talking same with you, Sam. Like you're still amateur. You're not world class, apparently. So
No, apparently about
it. It's just that hearing that come from someone who's even had like extreme losses, or they're like extreme setbacks where you've had the high. We've seen you, at least I have seen you on camera, the happiest after that UFC win, like the kid came out, you know what I mean, and you had no words. There was nothing you could say to describe what was going on. Also love that you brought nunchucks to that one, and then wore the sunglasses, and then you did a Zoom interview, and then you had a butterfly knife, and you were doing tricks. I didn't give a fuck about the people who were talking. I go, he's actually pretty good with that. I'm like, there's something going on. There's something I don't know about. There's something deeper in there.
Dude, don't you still sell those, like butterfly knife combs?
Yeah, I got some butterfly knife combs with some stuff on them.
I always like those. Those are dope.
I'd like one, please.
Heck yeah, I'll get you one.
Yeah, sweet. It's just, I think that people need to hear that even from someone who's taken every opportunity and they have the highest of the highs like that and the lowest of the lows, like in terms of loss, because you put your heart, soul, blood, sweat, tear, everything you put into that you possibly could, and you're still like, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't do this. Like that's who I am now at this moment. And then that opens you up to more opportunity, like bare knuckle. And I think that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, I think take that opportunity.
I think I'm gonna be a champion.
Well, we know we're gonna time mark stamp it. What is it? Okay,
Let's
cool.
go.
It's just that's your DNA. It's your character.
100%.
And like I said, I'm glad I got to talk with you, being here.
Heck
Do
yeah.
you guys know it's been an hour and 10 minutes?
Damn, let's go. How long was ours? 45, 50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting good. Sam, it's so good to see you, bro.
It's always good to see you, Chase. I appreciate you having us. This
Of course.
was a good idea.
This
Fuck
one,
yeah. This was
yeah,
a
let's
good
do this
show.
more often.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I want to thank you too while we have you on here, and I can just be as real as possible. If it wasn't for you coming on the first show, right,
Uh-huh.
and adding the lessons and the value that I learned from this, I probably wouldn't be at this moment, like at this
Right.
point, you know. And it's only because you want you to come on, and of course it's like the mentality's different because it's like I want to add value, so like the big plans is like I can reveal it now because I'm doing it, but it's like we obviously have the podcast, but then I also want to do. I'm good at writing, so I want to do journalism. I want to do articles. I want to do shit for you guys, so that way you're getting it audio, video, written. There's so, like that way you guys get this shot to sell tickets and get all the opportunity you
Give us
deserve.
a platform, like,
Yeah.
dude.
And just for free, like it's
Right.
all it costs me is time,
Mhm.
and if I
And
love
it helps
doing
us
it,
out so much, bro.
yeah, and you guys can use the clips to put it on your Instagram, and then
Advertise shit, fucking shout out sponsors.
if it looks fucking great, then you guys are like, they go, oh, this is a legit thing,
Right. Yes. Yes.
and
People
it's
will
like,
actually take it
oh.
serious and everything.
Right, and if that helps, that helps, you know. And all it was like when I posted the first episode with Sam, like people were, even if it was shitty, it was good. But to my standard, it was shitty.
Nah, it was great quality, bro.
I know,
Compared
I
to
know.
these other motherfuckers
Besides
throwing
him
out
saying,
podcasts.
every 5 seconks.
Bro, I catch myself when I watch these. I say like this, right. Yeah.
Mine's I got a few that I say a lot, but I can't remember. Like, you know what I mean? I think I say you know what I mean a lot. Yeah.
I'll let you know. Just kidding. I'm gonna watch this over.
No, for sure. But like, I mean, that's also me working for years to get better at it. You know what I mean? So
right.
I messaged him as soon as I saw that clip. I was like, hey man, no disrespect, I love you, but you got to clean this shit up, bud. All right.
Immediately.
Yeah, because he's under my wing, man. I'm taking care of this kid, and nobody fucking.
You teaching him right?
Nobody fucking showed me the game.
Right.
I had to learn this all by myself. That's why I'm here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I could have been a lot better. You know what I mean? If I had some help. You know what I mean? But like, I just said, you know what I mean, about 4 times.
There you go.
But yeah, so it's my job. That's why I have to say, cut it out with that world class shit. You know what I mean? Like, not that he can't beat, but he's great. He's great, but he's just not there
the
yet.
Comfort thing, the last thing you want.
And like the like, yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, like, imagine if I just ran with that and like got complacent just because people are telling me like, oh, dude, you're the fucking best.
And no offense, but like, you don't want to hear that from you. You know what I mean? Like, you like, it's someone like me or like, or even, you know, like that's where you want it to come from. You know what I mean? Like, not, no disrespect.
My family
you know what I mean?
Like,
how dare you? Are you saying you're better than me at fighting?
Well, I mean,
that's it.
That's crazy.
you know what I mean? But like, I'll just say, you know what I mean? About 12 times as I'm talking shit
now
about
it's
him.
on your mind.
Yeah.
It's like, we're like, oh, I have a Camry, and you see Camrys everywhere.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't talk about fighting with people. I have a saying that Picasso doesn't talk art with finger painters.
That's true.
You know, and like I don't care. Not you, but I don't care what you have to. I don't care because you don't matter to me. Your opinion doesn't matter. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying like people who are at a bar or like whatever. Like you don't matter. And what you
last week.
What you think that doesn't matter. And like so I don't even want to listen to it. I don't tell people I'm a fighter. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't.
Everyone at Glory is humble like that though.
Yeah, yeah.
As for at least the
that's because
the ones I've met.
There's some real dogs around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you are good in this game, like 90% of fighters are really like that, and there's the 10% who are kind of pieces of shit. You know what I mean? Like a lot, and they might be really good, but like there's kind of pieces of shit. You know, but we've all lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a black belt's been tapped out 1 million times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like so we get it, and like I understand the margin of error.
Mm-hmm.
If that thing had gone a centimeter closer, if that, like I when you've been in the game and like you've been tapped 1 million times, like it's just sometimes it works like that, sometimes it does. So like I don't want to hear compliments or praise from, and I don't even care about civilians telling me.
I take all my stuff back.
I don't even want to. No, like I mean, you train at least, but like
right.
I don't like my mom. She's not my mom, but she's like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
And like I get it. She loves me, but like I don't want to hear what you have to say because obviously I can do no wrong. I can do no. So don't quit telling me how amazing I am and all this stuff and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're my mom. Shut the fuck. Like obviously you're gonna think I'm great because. Look at me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I don't
Yeah.
care about that. Like, and I don't like to hear it,
right?
Because you're wrong. Like I fucked up in this and this and this and this, and
right.
this is where I could have done better, and like it's just.
And the people who see it will tell you that they're gonna go, "Ooh, that margin of error was very close."
If they care about you, they will, you
right.
know. And that's why I'm like, hey, fuck, calm that shit down. You know what I mean? Hey, quit saying Like,
oh yeah. And I guess I should phrase to me because like there's
levels to this shit. So obviously he's a higher level. So that is correct.
For sure.
That's like you're looking at it correct. And there's levels to this shit. And I got plenty of people that I'm looking up to like, oh man,
Well, it's also reciprocated by him. If you said that and he goes, fuck Kevin, right? He's not going to get any better. Yeah. He's like, for sure. Oh, what, a veteran's telling me I need to do this and that? Well, what does he know? It's like, everything? I think all of it. He knows all of it.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, dude. There's this kid at the gym that was so annoying. He's not there anymore. He was like there for a couple months. And the two coolest people in the room, me and Tim Elliott, like snapped on him.
I remember
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
And after I snapped on him, I kind of started feeling bad, even though I shouldn't have, because fuck that kid. You know what I mean? And then so like I tried to pull him aside and talk to him, and he just like wasn't listening. I'm like, dude, like if when I was his age, like this is a little ridiculous, but like I probably would have sucked a UFC fighter dick if he was like, this will get you there. You know what I mean? Like I get like that's ridiculous, but you know what I mean? Like if a UFC
It
fighter,
was hearsay back
if a
then.
UFC fighter pulled me aside and was like, hey bud, listen, here's what you got to do. And he was like, oh, you got to suck my dick. And so I would be like, well, fuck, I guess this is what, like I would have
That's where
done,
the talent comes
I would have
from.
done anything, you know? And like this kid,
What was in his bio? Wasn't it like?
I'm the greatest martial artist of all time.
Yeah.
I
Dog,
hate.
he was
I don't know who
garbage.
this is, but
he
I
was
hate him.
garbage, bro. Garbage. And like I thought, like I saw him around. You know, like I never trained with him. You know, but I saw him around for a week, and he's wearing like a good gym shirt. And so I just, and I think if you're at Glory, I think you probably, if you're coming to the fighters class, like you're probably decent. You know, and like
Yeah.
there are some young kids that whatever, but they're young.
Not this
But like
guy.
this dude, and then for like a week after, I like went with him, and I like, what are you doing? Like, why are you here? Like, this is not the place for you. And eventually he left, and good, because you can't really last like that in this gym. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to kick him some knowledge, and like mid sentence, it hit me that like
He
I'm
wasn't
wasting my
listening.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am wasting my like I'm not gonna throw my pearls before swine. And you look real piggish right now, dude. You know,
Mm. I can tell you right now, I've never heard that in my life.
it's a Bible verse. Don't
I feel like a terrible Christian.
don't throw your pearls before swine, because they're not going to care about pearls because they're fucking swine.
They're gonna eat it and be like, "Oh, what was that?" You're like,
And they're gonna
"Fucking
poop it
pearls,
out,
man."
fuck it up. Yeah, yeah, dog, for sure. It gets me so upset, and I mean this is like in the classes I teach and in like the pro classes. Like I have legitimately changed my life by doing exactly what James Krause says.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to him, and I get it. Some days I'm off a little bit. Some days I'm like, oh shit, what did he say? You know, but like the majority, I listen and I do exactly what he says. I do the steps he says.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it drives me crazy when these people don't fucking. It's like, dude, you're skipping step 2 and 3. Like, do you think he's just wasting his time? And like, I'll walk around my class I'm teaching. I'm like, do you think I just like to talk? Do you think I'm just saying this shit? Like I break this down. I break this down. And, hey, this is 3 steps, and you're skipping 2 of the steps, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, why come if you're not, and like it's a whole ego thing and like, oh,
Yeah.
you think you know, but like you don't fucking know.
A lot of it's
Like-
set up. You have to get them to the spot where you can do the step that you want to do.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you're missing
And like
the steps
it's
to set
and
it
that's
up.
the thing is
You're
like
missing the whole thing.
is when you start out, you can make like leaps and bounds because you don't know anything.
Mhm.
But like once you get to a level where you are proficient, it's the small details that
Yeah.
will change your life.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Just like, oh, hey, your arm is like this, move it an inch this way. It's just
Yeah.
the smallest things that will change everything. And like, if you don't understand that and like you don't want to listen when I say it, I do get pretty upset about it. I've been like able to handle it a little bit better. You know
No,
what I mean? Like
I'm
it's
right
just
there
not
with
like,
you at the same
but
time.
like a couple weeks ago, I was just like, I walked. There was a coach from another gym who was like in town a little bit, and I like at least got to walk up and bitch to him. I'm like, dude, like these fuckers don't fucking listen to what I'm saying. It's like, you think I'm just, and he's like, oh man, I know. And like, it was really nice to like have that moment with him. And like, he's like, I get it. They don't, it drives me crazy. It's like,
I mean,
you have somebody who I've lived the life, and I'm not amazing, but like I've lived the fucking life. Listen to what I say, or get the fuck out.
Yeah,
Right.
don't waste time.
Yeah. I'm dropping gold nuggets. All
Yeah.
right, you could pick them up if you want, but nope, you're too good.
well, they're following behind you as you shit them out, and then they eat them because they're swine.
Yeah.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
And that's the thing is like this shit's not hard, and I know it's not hard because I've done it literally by just doing what someone else says.
Mhm.
It's like and that's another thing I think about helps you a lot in life is just being coachable.
Yeah.
In anything, like if you can be coachable, you can learn. You can put me in any scenario, any situation, anything, and if there's somebody there to help me out who knows what they're doing, I'll figure it the fuck out. Like
Right. Well, how do I word it correctly. It's like, so being coachable is obviously the key there, but like I would walk in the gym and it just, this is how it would make sense to me. It's like I remember the years of training so far. Like I remember all the stuff I've learned.
How long have you been training?
So I went with Gladstone with you for 4 months.
He started around the time I did.
And then I made my way to Overland Park where I met Trey.
Oh, y'all little baby.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all just
Little babies.
Oh.
And it's like, I remember what I had learned. It's so hard to describe it perfectly, but I remember what I learned. I remember what I was taught. I listened to every steps, and it's in here, and it's in there. There's no getting it out. I've trained it for an hour and a half, and I do it all the time, whether I do it in sparring grounds or I do it just on the mat with them. It's like, oh, it's wall series today. You're like, okay, I remember that, right? But at the same time, I walk in like, I don't know shit today, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so whatever Trey tells me and whatever Gomi tells me, whatever you tell me, it's like I can't see myself. I can't see outside my body. So if I'm doing something that they look at me and go, hey, I wouldn't do that, I'm the asshole if I go, nah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you don't. I'm telling
Like,
you.
you're wasting your money and your time.
I'm
I'm just saying,
of
like,
course.
if that's how you, like, why?
You just want it because
Yeah,
you want to say, I
like-
train Glory MMA.
Yeah. There are people like that too. Like I know quite a few.
Has there been a lot coming through that you've
Uh,
noticed? Because
we
they
won't go
don't
into
last very
specifics.
long.
They do not.
See, like,
They
and I
don't
mean,
last
that's the
very long.
cool thing. Is
Yeah,
like,
don't give me the same guy. What's his hashtag and whatnot?
That's the cool thing about like how it's set up for me, at least, is, you know, I only really pretty much do just like the fighters classes, and like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Design that
there's
way.
a couple people who probably shouldn't be there, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like how else you gonna learn? You know, and we need
Yeah.
bodies to fuck up. So come on, you know what I mean? But like, you know, like
I'd love to practice my body kicks. Come on through.
for you know, the most part, you don't have to deal with that as much. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit removed from it, except now I'm teaching, and
Right back to
it's
it.
just like, dude,
Oh, we're
yeah,
back. You're back in it. You go, no.
Yeah.
Listen.
And I have a hard time too, because like I started wrestling when I was 14, and like I was bad for sure. I wasn't good, but like it's like, buddy, I say on your left hip, and they're like on the right knee. So your hip, and they like sit on their butt, like your hip. You know what I mean? It's just like they like
You
don't
go,
know how to
am I
use like
speaking
they
English?
don't know how to use their body, and like
Yeah.
you know, you don't know. And here's the thing: is they don't know if they haven't learned, and it's my job to teach them. So quit being such an asshole. But it's really hard because I'm an asshole. You know what I mean?
Well, no, they don't. It's like the same thing. I mean, there's a difference. I'm not a dancer or anything like that, but I moved different when I was first started, and then when I started to train different. Like, it's not big head movements. It's like slight. It's like it's like grazing me. I'm just missing, right?
Right.
It's like you
Right.
don't get that unless you do it over and over and like get hit. Oh, I got me. Oh, and then you're like, I missed it. Like,
Right,
it's just
right.
like,
it's like you want to get shaved.
yeah.
You want them to shave you. You don't want it to miss big, because then you can't counter. You know what I mean? Like, for sure.
Yeah, it's just like you don't get that until you do it over and over. You get in there and you listen to the guy
And you're
telling you to
intentional
move.
about it. Like, that's, you know, like if you just show up and you're like, oh, okay. And even if you listen to everything, but like you don't really care, you got to care about this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
If you're just
it's
there
gotta
for the
be,
name, then
you know,
you're wasting. Usually, you're wasting time, money. Go do something else.
And maybe not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at it from a world-class fighter perspective.
All
You know
right,
what I
tone
mean?
it down.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and so that's how I see it. But really, it's good. It's good workout. Like, I mean, it's you can get in shape. You can learn stuff. So like, I gotta quit being a dick all the time. You know what I mean? But like,
But you'll
because
know
not
those
everybody,
people.
because not everybody's gonna want to be a world-class athlete. You know, so like,
Right.
it's okay for people to be who they are. You know, and whatever. Quit being such an asshole, Kevin. Good
Except for you clumsy
This-
fucks who don't listen to instruction.
This is like me in a nutshell. I'll come in real hard, just be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then my softer side would be like with that kid, I fucking yelled at that kid so hard. And
You
I was like,
deserve
man,
that shit too.
he did. And then my softer side was like, oh man, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, not worth my breath. It's just, I think that's just an attitude difference. I don't think people have that attitude. They think it's easy, think it's gonna be easy.
That motherfucker was just bad though. Like,
yeah.
coach would be like, throw a 1, 2, 3. This motherfucker would do like a 3, 5, 9. Like, random ass shit. Like
just
because I
he's-
would train with him like normally because
I'm
we
gonna
were
bleep
around
it
the
out,
same
but so he
level.
was retarded.
No, don't bleep that out. Keep retarded in there for sure. For sure, he was retarded for sure. I've known people with Down syndrome that are better fighters than him. 100%. I am not even one joker. I know, yes, 100%. 100%. 100%. I've met people with Down syndrome who were more capable of fighters than he was.
I think this is the proof that
But,
ego
like,
will kill you.
He was like a completely normal dude. Like he had the ability to be great, but he didn't want
his
it.
fucking
Like-
Instagram, greatest martial artist ever.
Yeah, that enough tells me he's
Oh my
not gonna
God,
be
dude.
close.
Oh my- and like I'm all about fucking speaking your truth and like what you know what I mean, like there, you know, like there's been a few instances in my life where I have spoke into existence what happened. I told people years ago that I was going to win my UFC debut and I was going to win a performance bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And like at the time, you could be like, oh, yeah, whatever, and it happened. So like I'm all about that shit, but buddy, calm it the fuck down.
Right.
You know, like whatever. Fuck.
I mean, even
I can't believe we're talking about him. Fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
honestly,
No, I'm just saying. Well, I'm gonna go back to that because you said you spoke that to existence, right? But not the. We're so shocked. Like I mean, you in the camera, what I got to see from that fight, you look at James, you
I
like
wasn't
this.
shocked.
It looked like shot.
I wasn't shocked.
What was the feeling
that
you
was the fighter still. I wasn't done with war yet.
got? Oh,
And I was
see.
looking at James, fucking who the fuck's next?
Right.
Who's fucking next?
Yeah, you were like
And
that was
then-
too quick.
And then it comes, and then after a little bit, and then when I scream, that's me. That's this guy. That's me. But like when I'm just fucking staring at James, that's kill mode.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
It's like Brandon Moreno when he won the belt. It was just like he's like, I'm still ready to go. And they're like, no, you did it.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
and then it hit him. Boom. He's like, the culmination of that moment
Yeah.
finally just like,
Oh, dude,
like a blanket, man.
I'm like such a crier at times. I'm a pretty emotional dude. And so I'd always figured, you know, I'd cry in the ring or whatever. And like me and Grant had talked about it before and didn't cry till the next week. I'm like hanging out with some chick, hanging out with the girl.
Terrible
and
time.
I ugly fucking cry. She was cool. Like she was cool. But
Oh, I thought you were about to say she's
no, she was like
She was.
No.
She cried with him.
Oh,
at the same time.
dude, I fucking ugly cried so bad. I'm like snotting, and I got this girl like in bed with me, and I'm like, it's so fucking
She's like,
funny.
you have a nightmare?
Yeah,
And you're like, no, it's my best thing ever. It happened to me.
I was like about to go to the PI like the next week, and like just being able to go to the PI, like fucking, yeah, dude, it was so. It was just funny how like it happened at like just the most inopportune time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like got this girl, I'm like trying to be cool, and then fucking hitting
Yeah, I
water
just
on her
won
shirt,
my debut,
tears,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's so cool. I know it.
Yeah,
Deeply
fucking
buzzed
snot on her shirt and shit, you know, like yeah.
It makes me so proud that you're proud of me, too.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
okay. Like, I was just watching Netflix with you, but that's
Nah,
cool.
she's cool. She's a sister of a UFC fighter, so like she gets it, but like
Oh, I
it's
see,
still
got it.
just kind of funny, like how it works out. You know, like, when it
yours are
comes,
always late.
You know,
It's like 2-3 months later.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes it's that moment that you waited for. It's like, oh.
Oh, and like that's man. Like I literally lived my whole life for that moment.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I should have lived it for a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should have fucking called. Have better goals, kids. If you take anything out of this, have better goals, man. Like that was a good goal, but I could have had so much more. You know, and whatever. I'm super happy with everything. I'm great, but
You
Yeah,
seem very grateful
fucking,
and understanding.
dream bigger. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like dream bigger. You know.
There's always a bigger fish to catch, whether it's, like I said, real life or in the gym.
Show.
You just have to be able to see the opportunity.
Yeah.
Most deaf.
What you got for me?
I just got sponsors. I
Yeah.
got sponsor shout outs.
These
You shout 'em
fucking amateur kids got sponsors, dude.
Hey, I'm one of them. Don't
What
be
the fuck?
dogging it.
I'm
You saw
not
the song.
dogging. I'm not dogging it. I'm happy. I'm happy about it. But also, part of me is like,
You got-
you know what I mean?
he's got
I'm jealous
sponsors?
that he's
Get in the fucking
he's
car.
in the best position. He's in the best position, and I'm really happy about that. That's awesome. That's so good. And then part of me is like,
These fucking kids.
fucking
Yeah,
little-
I can't
fucking
believe.
little bastards. You don't know how good you have it.
I'm gonna call that guy up who had the barn with the rug, and you're gonna see
Dog.
what it's like.
Yeah, it's like I had to walk up hill both ways to school in the snow. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that bullshit. I'm a
Back in
fucking
my
old
day.
man. This is fucking so lame.
I was gonna say, that sounds like an old soul.
It really hit me like this summer. I just like I went through some shit. I got cut, from the UFC this summer and shit and whatever. And I'm just in the gym and I'm just looking around at just like faces like his, and I'm just like, fuck, dog. I'm like the last of a dying breed. I'm the old man now. You know what I mean? Like I'm the fucking old guy.
Hey,
Next
hey,
year.
Hey,
whoa,
this
whoa,
old
whoa.
man will fuck you up.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like,
100%.
hey.
I'm gonna be fucking little kids up when I'm 60. I don't care. However, I am old, and it's fine.
Yeah. Doesn't mess you up.
But you have to accept that. Like that was my moment. I'm like just looking around. I'm like, fuck. I don't know any of these bastards. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like.
And you're like, looking at him makes my hips
It's
hurt.
like,
I
oh
don't know
yeah,
why.
it's like all
My
the
knees
like
hurt now.
vets are hurt. Like Tim had surgery. It's like no, you know what I mean? Like nobody's around. And I'm just like, God damn it. It's like me and James are like the last ones. You know what I mean? And like James started a year before I did. So like, yeah, man, we've been in this shit. He did a lot better than me, but fuck that guy. I love him. He's just smarter than me. I'm just fucking a silly,
He's-
dumb son of a bitch. He's a very intelligent. Like even now, like he'll just be talking about something, and I'll just be like, dude, like I've never thought about that. I've never thought like that. I've like never broken this down because I just do shit. I'm a feeler.
Yeah.
I just do stuff. You know,
Like, how do you know those 12 steps? I just feel it for this one, that one, this, and then, oh, there it is.
well,
Like,
yeah, it's like I'll just do really cool shit around, and people are like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'll be like, "I got no fucking clue, buddy." You
It's the
know, and
fire.
like James, like, oh no, it's just all muscle man. I'm just not there, and James is like very analytical about it, which is why he's so fucking good.
Mhm.
And I can see him coaching. I'm like, oh yeah, man, no shit. That's why you're fucking so good because you think about all this shit,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey guys, what's up?
I mean, like I said, one of these days, because like I said, I want having all you guys on and doing this. It's like he's a guy that I would love to talk to. He's got every avenue. I mean, it's like if you can fight, but if you take fighting and you do, he has his own podcast. He has his own real estate portfolio.
He has elevated his life from this game better than. I mean, there are a few other people who have done it like him, but like, there are not very many people who have used fighting to fucking become financially free.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
He's a fucking
like
role
very,
model to me.
Very, yeah, man. I'll stab somebody in the neck for him.
Oh,
Like
God.
100%. Hopefully, it's not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Behind me, there's just someone right there. Like, who is it?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure.
Are you talking about James?
I would do anything for him. And he's got about 30 of me. I mean, not me, but like 30. You know what I mean? People who do it. And like,
I'd say more
there's
like
a
60.
there's a bunch of
Yeah.
but half of them are bitches.
All right,
You know what I
fair.
mean?
That's what you call 'em,
no,
huh?
but like, like I mean, he's definitely has like 5 or 6 like OGs who like their career is because of him. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
He's the fucking man for sure.
Number one.
Yeah, like I said, even before this, he was just, I saw him on The Ultimate Fighter when he was in that return. Like he came
Yep.
back on it,
Yep.
and from that moment on, I'm like, let me do my research on this guy that owns the gym that I go to,
Yeah.
and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
did
Like
you,
I'm just like,
You see the episode where Tim comes in and they start talking shit. It's like a whole big deal because Tim and Zach come
chilling.
and visit him.
I
And
thought
then the
it
other
was
fighters
James
start
and Zach
fucking yeah.
that visited Tim.
No, it was Tim and
Tim and
Zach
Zach.
that visited James, and
They were so
and they were
pissed
like
about
in the
that.
fucking hot tub, and fucking Tim goes, "Y'all are making loser soup," because they'd all just lost. Everybody in the hot tub. He's like, "Yeah, y'all are making loser soup over there." I
oh
was just
shit,
like,
I
dude,
remember that.
Tim is so fucking funny. Like, he just cornered me for that BKFC fight, so we were like together all weekend. And
Yeah.
just off the cuff, just fucking, yeah.
I fucking love
Dude,
Tim.
I
He'd
do
be cool,
fucking,
too.
fighters are fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, not all of them, but like, a lot of them are really
Our
fucking
squad.
cool.
Our squad
A
is
lot of them
fucking
are really
For
awesome.
real,
fucking
yeah,
cool,
I would talk to every single
Well,
individual.
And it's just like what we were talking about, like just going through life. Like this is a hard fucking life, and
Yeah.
if like this is what you do, you're probably gonna be pretty cool because you get it.
You're
and
humbled.
if you can fucking be humbled and still be a savage and lose and be humiliated and show up on Monday, and like that takes a lot of balls and a lot of guts and a lot of shit I don't even know what it is, and like that makes good people,
Yeah.
Like,
Makes humble people who then become world class. They become the ability to change their lives like James did, and then those same people listen, and now their life's different. And I was like, what do you do? I listened to that guy who changed it.
A
It's
whole
like,
bunch of fucktards for sure. You know what I mean? A lot of them. A lot of them. Like, dude, there's
More than necessary.
I know like multiple people.
more than necessary.
Multiple people. I'm thinking about this. Like, I'm thinking of them as I say this. It's just like all the talent in the world, great fighters, amazing, and just like can't get their fucking life together. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And like if I'm saying that, that's saying some shit because your boy. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm talking shit on you not having your life together, buddy,
And we're
you're
like,
a fucking rat.
Man, it
you
is.
know what I mean?
It's bad.
It's
Man.
bad.
Like, yeah. Hey, man, what's up with sponsors? My bad. I just started talking
you're
shit.
good.
Oh, hell no. We can go all day long. All I'm worried about is my camera. I can check the battery level. I'm like, we're good. We got like 2 bars left.
So I got sponsorships, shout outs. We got Chase Mercer at DNC.
Who's that?
Yeah. My man. Jake and
me.
Selena Walden. Ty Schrader with First Class Realty.
What's
if
up,
you're in
Ty?
the market.
Yeah.
He just got me my second property. Very thankful for him. Thanks, Ty. We got Troy Davis over at Experts Automotive and Shannon Coronado, my sister, Shannon Lee Photography. Appreciate all of you guys for sponsoring me for my next fight, which is coming up February 4th, 2023, Kansas City, Kansas. Hit me up if you guys want tickets, and I also have a few sponsorship spots left. So hit me up if you want.
For sure.
t-shirt.
And what do the sponsorships? What do they get? What do they get if they sponsor?
So sponsorships get free tickets, free merchandise, shout outs, free advertisement, all that good stuff. And then they help me get through fight camps and pay for gym membership as well.
I mean, that's pretty awesome because I'm not giving you free tickets if you sponsor me.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
Oh,
that's
so that's a no-go?
That's a pretty good deal. I mean, I'm not because that's going to come out of my pocket, and I'm good. I thought you're paying me, so I have money. I'm not going to spend my money.
I rescind
you know
my
what I mean?
sponsorship.
You know,
I love my sponsors. Let's
I've
go.
got- me too. But you got to work it out with my management company. You know what I mean?
I have to pee, but I want to ask one thing because property. You're following some footsteps
Yeah,
from
most
your
definitely.
elders? Are you talking like you own real estate property?
Yeah.
Turning it into
James
investment
Krause actually taught me the BR.R.R method. Buy, rehab, rent, repeat. All that
BR.R.R.
good stuff.
Gucci
BR.R.R.
Mane.
Yeah.
BR.R.R. You get to teach
Look
me
it
after
up,
this
kids.
ends.
I highly recommend it. Look
Yeah,
it
no,
up.
for sure. House hack, fuckers.
House hacking. Oh, well, I've heard that duplex. You live in one half and then rent the other half.
Yeah, I mean, or in a house. Like, I mean, I'm
Oh, that's
I'm
true.
house hacking my house at the moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, who's
Yeah.
that? Just kidding.
you know, like, yeah. So, yeah, man. And like that's one thing that James really, because a lot of us are street kids. A lot of us don't have the best role models. A lot of us don't have all this stuff. And James didn't either. Grew up in a trailer park. Didn't have fucking great role models, you know, and like he made it on his own, and he's giving the knowledge to these kids that fucking don't have it. And like that's how you pimp this fighting game, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because most of the time you end up with some broken bones and a broken home and nothing left to show, you know what I mean? And like he's helping a lot of people not do that.
These motherfuckers are alive today. Like, you might as well get the game that they're spitting.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't just transition to the professional athletes. It's the amateur athletes who learn young. And then, 10 years from now, you're going to be like, holy shit, I changed my life when I was 23.
Yeah.
You're like,
assholes.
you're like,
Fucking jealous. Fucking jealous.
well, hey, Sam, Kevin, thanks for being here, you guys.
Thank you,
yeah.
Chase.
This was
we
fun.
appreciate you.
This was
Yeah.
fun.
Heck
Yeah. Hey,
heck
in review of podcasts.
Oh no, I had a good time.
Oh, good,
I had
good.
a good time for sure.
No,
Thank
the
you.
worst.
Bro,
the
no,
absolute worst.
I'm telling you, like they're just like they ask me a question, I'll crack a joke, and they'll just be like, or like,
I heard it.
Or
I heard
just-
it in the living room. You cracked a funny ass joke. Me and my friend laughed, and literally he just went on to the next question
can't-
like so
dude,
monotone.
I did that in a fucking Stephen Bonner fucking interviewed me in the ring after a fight, and like I cracked a funny joke. Which, dude, if you're cracking jokes after a 3-round fight, like
Yeah.
solid, and he just like looks at me like with his American Psycho eyes. That was his fight name. You know
Yeah.
Stephan Bonner?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. And he's just like, oh, okay. And it's just fucking. I'm like, dude, you're the worst. I can't stand that.
What are you
know?
doing up
You
here?
go, I want to go
Why
home
do you have
now.
a mic?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're putting me to bed. Like, this is your job? What? Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'll end it right here.
Heck yeah. Rock and roll.
All right. I feel better now. I'm not on the list of podcasts that you want to destroy.